But when it comes to the bats, the Cubs are far and away better. They have multiple guys that are mashers. They have an MVP guy in Pete Crow Armstrong. Suzuki's been unbelievable for them. Seiya Suzuki, who often DHs for them. He's been great for them, and the list goes on. They have really good bats in Chicago. Milwaukee, small ball, right? Get me an infield single, steal a base. Let's find a way to get this run in. And it works for them. And it has worked for them against really good teams like the Dodgers. And hopefully it works for them again against a really good team like the Cubs. But I still think they're lacking there. But all in all, can they win the series without that? The answer is yes. Because they have that many good arms and that many good arms available to go for them the next 3 days. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, the only way this Cubs series makes a huge difference is if it ends in a sweep, because I think a typical 2-1 series win is only going to put them one game apart in terms of the tiebreaker for the division. The big one is the 5-game coming up for them, which will likely finally determine it. But any series against the Cubs is going to be a big series. And I'm glad you mentioned the missing of a big bat, because over the weekend, I believe this was Friday, Attanasio was being talked to on the broadcast, the FanDuel broadcast for the game. And when asked about the trade deadline, he said, the team is telling us pretty loudly that we should be trying to make it even better. Everything is on the table. At this point, you are paying for 1/3 of a season. The money doesn't come into it. It is the prospects. And Matt and his group will decide what prospects they're willing to let go of for what players. We have to be judicious, but we also have a chance to do something good, to do some good things this year. So he's basically given the AAO go ahead, do whatever it takes, because I think we have a championship level team here in Milwaukee. I also think it's important to discuss that if the Brewers always are making moves around the deadline, sometimes it's not good for the team, sometimes it's great for the team. There's some that stick out as better than others, but this feels like one of the real times where they're not pushing to, well, we can get a playoff spot or we can solidify ourselves as a playoff team. They're trying to become one of the best teams in baseball and push for the best record in the MLB to win the NL Central, to be able to skip the wild card round, which has been a bugaboo. You get right to the DS, and that's a whole different world. And a bat like Suarez's is the type it would be. We talked about on here where they would go if you just added his home runs to their season. I mean, the Brewers are winning games and scoring runs without that. And that's great, but that's not going to happen every single series. And I'm not worried about, there seems to be a small contingent of people who are like, don't mess up what they got going. I think that is the defeatism, the fear, and the, now that we're finally competing with the big boys, there's a little bit of, I'm scared, I don't want to enter into this, I'm going to have to get my hopes up, I'm going to have to believe, and I'm going to have to expect a World Series. I think Brewers fans have gotten awfully comfortable being the plucky underdog. And a move like Suarez, that you put some big prospects out there, is probably a move that tells everyone, hey, we're here, and we're coming for it all.
I totally agree. And hopefully that is the direction they go. Now, this Attanasio quote, it just made me giggle because Wisconsin's definitely not the only like sports market that has this, but to have the figureheads that just like provide, right? Obviously, Mark Murphy just retiring last week officially, has said things for years. What just happened? Are you okay?
My mic just sunk. This part did.
Oh, that's normal.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as it's still working, I guess.
Yeah.
So to have Mark Murphy say all the things he's said over the years, and now Attanasio saying all the things he's said over the years, it's just fascinating.
The great thing with them, too, is they both say things they should and shouldn't.
Correct. Yeah.
We remember the Summer of Fun and Entertainment.
Yeah.
I also do find it interesting that Mark can't really open his mouth without talking about costs and prices and salaries.
He did allegedly steal sand at one point, so clearly he's worried about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that to me is interesting, and I think the way the MLB is currently constructed, you used to have to get these guys, you used to have to give up your best prospect. That doesn't happen anymore. No. I don't think either of the Brewers' top 2 prospects are touchable to them, nor would they have to move them to get a Suarez.
Agreed.
I think if you're talking like last year in a Juan Soto, then that's more of a conversation because that's a Hall of Fame level player. A guy like Suarez is a good player, good bat, having a great season, but not to the level of we're selling our farm to get this guy.
The Hall of do you follow the MLB Hall of Pretty Good?
Yes.
Terrific.
I don't follow it. I see them.
Ricky Weeks, the one of the Brewers inductees, one of the first inductees.
I feel like the Brewers have quite a few Hall of really good players.
Yeah. Just not Hall of Famers. Yeah.
Yes.
I would agree with that. So, we will see on the trade deadline, which happens Thursday after this Cubs series comes to an end. And, like Joshy said, the only way there's a big swing in the series is if there's a sweep. And one way or another, right? Obviously, the Cubs could win all 3, the Brewers could win all 3. If the Brewers are 3 games ahead in the NL Central entering Thursday, after a sweep at home of the Cubs, and they do not make a move that signals, hey, we're buying at the deadline, grab your pitchforks, because I think Brewers fans would be upset. Now, again, to your point, I think a lot of Brewers fans are good being the underdog and good, yada, yada. We can chip our way. We can get there. We've seen what the Rangers have done. We've seen what the Diamondbacks have done. I just think you need more to get through the NL. The Cubs are that good. The Dodgers are that good, regardless of how you've played them this year.
There's no such thing as being too good.
Good point.
You're not going to go out there and be like, the team was just too good there. We couldn't get it done. Adding bats, adding talent is only going to improve your chances of winning a World Series. Hell, look at the Los Angeles Dodgers. They could have stopped at Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. They'd have been A-okay. That's a good baseball team. But they keep adding, and they're not going to stop. They're going to make additions where it makes sense. The Cubs are trying to be aggressive as well. There's going to be a sweepstakes, and if you want Suarez, you're probably going to have to overpay a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I'm okay at the end of the day if I know the franchise that I root for believes in their team a degree that they said, this is a little more than we're comfortable with, but we have the opportunity to do something really special that hasn't happened here in Milwaukee since 1982.
Ohtani, Yamamoto, Teoscar Hernandez, right? Like in the last 2 years, they have gone out and done it, the Dodgers have.
Yes.
Not quite to the level the Brewers ever have, but come Thursday, you better hope the phones are ringing in Matt Arnold's office and he is making something happen, regardless of the result of the series, because you're still well into the mix.
Nothing can happen before Thursday that would turn you from a buyer to a seller or a seller to a buyer right now for the Brewers.
Yep.
There certainly will be a surprise team that sells away a guy, and you're like, what the hell are they doing? A la the Josh Hader trade.
Correct.
I've also seen that mentioned that because of what we saw happen with Hader, that the Brewers shouldn't add, which is an interesting mind trick to play, because
it's the reverse psyche, essentially,
right,
yeah.
Adding Suarez tells everybody in that clubhouse, hey, we're for real. Sure, Caleb Durbin would have to be like, oh, damn, I'm not going to see as many at-bats, but they're still going to use him. Yeah. And they still plan to use him in the future.
He's that good defensively.
And I think any professional can look at that, say, yeah, I don't have the capability of hitting 50 home runs. I understand that. I could be a guy maybe in my future that hits 25.
That is quite a way to look at it. The reverse psyche. Take somebody away who's one of the heartbeats of your team.
What it is it's scratching and clawing.
Right.
It's scratching and clawing for a reason to find an excuse.
Yeah, look, no offense to Anthony Siegler or Andrew Monasterio.
Right.
But if you go back to AAA, I don't think anybody's crying.
No.
When they are trying to win a World Series.
Caleb Durbin's defense, his speed, all those things, pitch hitting, pitch running, and then spot starting in some positions, there's going to be a place for him to play. He's going to be on the playoff roster, and he's going to be a contributor. And who knows, he might be the guy that has the big hit in the NLCS. These are all things that happen, and pitch hitting, pitch running. Like, I remember Dave Roberts' stolen base, because it's like the biggest stolen base ever. Dave Roberts is not a name. Doug Minkiewicz. Those aren't people you think of, but those are people that make differences in playoff series.